And good afternoon, train fans. Bruce Tucker here with the Morrisania and Harlem River Railroad. Just thought I would provide an update on my recently acquired Norfolk and Western 611 MTH Railking Bantam J611 locomotive and passenger cars. I found that the locomotive smoke unit was making a lot of noise, and so I went online and I watched a few videos about how to open up the smoke unit and make some adjustment to it by putting some oil on the shaft of the motor. And in the process of doing that and reconnecting the smoke unit, my loco soundboard basically just failed completely. And when that happened, the locomotive lost all of its ability to move forward or backward, lost all of its sound capability, and certainly, of course, it lost the ability to use the smoke unit as well. So what I had to do was basically what I would call bypass surgery, because I wasn't going to try to find another loco sound board, even though I know they might be available from Mike's Train House. It wasn't something I wanted to invest more money in, considering the low price that I paid for the locomotive, which was basically under $100. But what I ended up doing was bypass surgery, and having had previous experience using a full wave rectifier to convert so that you can convert alternating current to direct current, which is essentially part of what goes on with this board that you see here. And I'll flip it over so you can see the other side of it. Okay. That's the underside of the board. You'll notice that it says steam because they do have a diesel version of this. Now this board is at least 25 years old, so I'm not surprised that it probably was on its last leg when I got it. And you can see the connectors I had to pull out, lots of the wiring and so forth. But in order to be able to use the bridge rectifier, basically I had to do a bypass and get the power from both the power and also the ground from the wheels, and also connect up the headlight. I didn't put the smoke unit back in because I wanted to make sure that it was operating properly, and it's no longer, of course, synchronized to any kind of chuffing that it was doing before. But I may put it back in. Thinking about it, I was just testing it here with a DC power pack, and it does work quite well. I don't know if you can see if I turn this on and let the power run a little bit. There goes the smoke. Okay? And you can hear the fan running, and you can start to see the smoke coming out of the top. All right. I had to replace the batting inside, and so that worked out quite well. And it does produce quite a bit of smoke, as you can see, and the fan is working quite well. So I may decide to put it back in to this unit, or I may decide to possibly use it in a different train. But here is the Norfolk and Western 611 back on the track with its tender. Unfortunately, of course, there's no sound coming out of the tender anymore, but the engine will run in forward direction only, because that's the way the wave rectifier works. I could put a switch in there and basically make it forward and reverse, or try to find an electronic E unit to put in there. But again, all of these things will involve additional expense, which I may or may not want to do. So let's watch the 611 go around now, operating with a bridge rectifier. It's making a little bit of a squeal, so I think I just need to lubricate the wheels a little bit on it. But I just thought I would give you a little bit of an update from yesterday, and kind of some of the things that one has to do with one's trains when you run into a problem. And I have to say, thankfully, with so much that I've learned from using YouTube and some of my friends out there that post videos, I had the confidence to be able to do this, and it turned out to be successful. So again, thanks again for watching, and look forward to my next video. I'll see you soon. In the meantime, as I always like to say, run your trains. So run your trains. And by the way, in case you're wondering what a bridge rectifier looks like, this is one that I purchased off of Amazon. It's a 10 amp, 1000 volt, single phase bridge rectifier, and essentially it's useful for converting alternating current to direct current. And so you see that 2 pins in the center where it says AC, that would be where your ground and your power would come in from the track by way of the wheels and the pickups of your locomotive. And then the plus and the minus would be the DC output, which would be going to your motor, which is a DC motor, and the DC motor would have a positive and a ground, and you'd make those connections there. And so once you have this bridge rectifier in place, it will convert the alternating current to direct current so that that DC motor can properly operate. The only downside to that is that you're basically giving up the ability to move forward and backwards, because you have to choose your direction. You're either going to go forward or backward, not both. And most people would prefer to go forward. If you want to have the ability to go forward and backward using something like this, you can do that, but you'd need to also add a switch in the place so that you can convert the positive to the negative and the negative to the positive to alter the direction of the DC motor so that it goes in reverse rather than forward. That might sound a little complicated. It's really not that much, but there are many, many videos out on YouTube that will explain how to use a bridge rectifier and how to install one like this one, and perhaps even how to install a switch that would allow you to retain your ability to go backwards and forwards. And so hope you find this useful. I've used these bridge rectifiers a number of times with DC only locomotives made by Lionel, and in this particular case, because the motor is a DC motor and there was a rectifier circuit as part of that soundboard that failed in this particular Railking locomotive, I had to resort to using one of these rather than turning the locomotive into a shelf queen, which I really didn't want to do. So it's still a useful engine, as Thomas likes to say. And I hope you find this information useful, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye for now.